I was
You were before?
yeah.
Okay, 1 2. Yes.
No man say no, you see, where we are at right now, this is a very good start right now. From like we are start a new page in our history. Give thanks to all who is present here, Bogo Nayabingwe, and all the Orthodox Federation. We give thanks. Now, the Prime Minister made a statement in the House of Parliament recently about an apology of the Carroll Gardens massacre. And I heard he highlighted three main points that he's going to engage the community about. He spoke of the Carroll Gardens Committee, Benevolent Society. He spoke of the Pinnacle, and he also made mention of the Trust Fund, right? I am a member of the EDIOMAC, Ethiopia Africa Diaspora Union Millennium Council, and we were formulated in 2007 by the Asians of the community to do the necessary due diligence and also to represent the community in matters of this nature. Ganja, Pinnacle, Coral Gardens, which the government might not know, but Coral Garden is a working committee of the Nayabingi Order. Our first chairman of the Millennium Council, as Junior Manny, he was the chairman for the Coral Garden Committee at the time when he was the chairman of the council. And we were agitating for the rights of Coral Gardens within the council. But somehow, as Junior Manny has died, and the leadership of the Coral Gardens have changed hands, right? And they have also changed the name to the Coral Garden Benevolent Society. So these brethren, I respect them, but I told them at a recent consultative meeting that the Coral Garden Committee was a working committee of the Nayabingi Order. So if you're going to represent that matter with the government, it has to be a collective representation. So I'm wondering now, at this meeting that looks like a collective, why is not the Coral Gardens Committee here? Right? So I was expecting that if they are the one that the government is going to engage in the negotiation going forward, and this is the core of the committee, why aren't they not here?
We don't know if they were invited or not, so
yeah,
we
okay,
need to
all
find
right.
out.
And a follow-up, would I like to know, see them around the table. Because we're going to represent these three main issues that is on the table. You need to be present in these meetings so that we can come to some amicable agreement, right?
And if I may interject,
Yes, brother.
for people like me to understand, I have to learn more knowledge of the Bobo Shanti, right? I have to learn more knowledge of the Coral Gardens structures, because that is what is missing in a collective approach. So the point said earlier by Gregor, King and Maxwell, if you have at least 5 items or issues, right, that does not transcend the mansion that you have, right, focus on that. So if that is reparation, repatriation, that's a common point. You make that the first goal, for example. And if that reparations has to be extended to other abuse, like the abuse of moving of land illegally, and recognizing your religious freedom and rights by banning all your religions. And I have a substantive point that I have to toy with. And I am happy to see how we are maroons. Because in all of our educational process of this village, right, there has been an area that is said about what the Maroons played during slavery. But that has been, to me, misrepresented, for instance, because the Maroons fought a war. It's the first guerrilla warfare Britain ever lose. Right? Okay? And having lost it, is a treaty assigned to which they have honored the treaty to an extent. And just like how we talk about slavery, it's not slavery I'm talking about, which is a way of life in some traditions. I'm talking about the chattel slavery, which is what brings us here at the same table.
So right? Brother Mike now, as you touched upon it, do you think that the Maroons are entitled to reparations?
The Maroons don't.
No,
I'm not saying
okay.
that they are not attacked in terms of the colony.
Yeah.
The Maroons fought a war. They were the first people to defeat the British in a guerrilla warfare.
Twice.
Right? The British couldn't beat them and signed a treaty with them. Now, whether you want to interpret it one way or another, what we are all talking about is what I said with the Anglos, is the education of the mind. You know, we have been miseducated.
True.
Right? So the concept of it, if I use the word obia, obia is a form of religion.
Yeah.
Right? And you are locking up people, all of this 5% and practicing obia.
Yes.
Right? When it's the religious right of that element. It's just
Yeah.
like me coming to learn that I'm a Redibo.
Yeah.
Right?
Ready
So,
for
well,
I heard
it's
it
just
clear,
like
you know.
that's why I have to use the educational aspect,
Yeah.
you know.
You see,
Because
brother Mike,
the
you see
young
that-
man,
you see
no,
that
the
name-
young man or young girl.
You see that name that you just mentioned, ready, but I never really knew the meaning of it, you know. Till I'm hearing you speak
And that's
of
why
it
I
now,
want
you
to
know.
come back to it.
Yeah.
Because somewhere in Spanish Town,
Yeah.
there was an enlightened mind that used to say, Father, talk to us, Miss Mike, because you are Redibo. No, that's a 10-year-old, 70, 80 years ago. No, that came to me that I used to feel ashamed of being brown, you know. Right? Then till I read and educated, I learned there's a tribe of Africans, the Igbos.
Right.
And they have a tribe that's red. And the history of slavery is where the black was the person who was revered, not the white. So the whole aspect of education is just like we're talking all the while about Marcus Garvey, and nobody introduced it in the school because nobody's writing it on a structure.
As a curriculum.
Right? So the issue that I'm talking about, therefore, is in that unity, is you have to bring that unity in against the historical issues.
Yeah.
And not because I don't, because they do that with their own religion. You know. Remember one time they told me, you know, that it's barbaric to mark your face, you know. As
You
the
mean
tribe
like
of Africa.
tattoo,
Right?
painting?
But when I go to church, the Catholic church, they put ashes on my forehead and put a cross. That not this figure. I know when you look at every white man, them have more tattoo and more mark and more. Are you talking? You understand my practical approach? to the journey?
Yes, so General Mike,
So the point I want to make is the unity that I want to leave with.
Yeah.
You can't alienate the Maroons, right? In the context of what it is. Because it's really black history versus white history.
I'm reading my line.
And I come back to the historical thing of your mind. Remember that tell us is by the sweat of your brow you eat bread.
That's right.
But the reality is by the intelligence, it is where I would Rastafari way out. That you really can live, so they don't leave us with creative ideas and I could believe we, even in reparation now. Don't give us back the money because we will waste the money. And it's all in the mind overall. You're told you can't do it. So and they said about that, I come back and close on this over. When slavery, chattel slavery was abolished, they said, go and live on the land, grow what you eat, but you couldn't own the land. Because they now said to for voting, you must own the land. You can only vote one time if you're a landowner, you know.
Yes, yes, yes.
So they kept you out of the decision making.